Welcome to Nightmare Story. I'm Lucas, your guide through the shadows. Here the night is quiet, but never safe. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and follow me into the places where forgotten footsteps echo and old fears wake beneath the darkness. This is where sleep meets terror. Are you ready? Tonight we slip into the kind of neighborhood that looks like it was printed from a catalog. Rows of identical roofs, lawns trimmed so neatly they seem measured by laser, and streets so quiet you can hear your own breath bouncing off the vinyl siding. You walk beneath warm porch lights that glow like patient eyes, watching you settle in. Crickets hum in rehearsed unison. A sprinkler whispers across the yard of a house you swear you saw in 3 different real estate ads. Everything feels pleasant. A little too pleasant. And somewhere inside that stillness, you sense it. Those perfect hedges aren't hiding garden tools. They're hiding rules. So many rules. A whole universe of them, written by people who smile too wide and wave too long. People who track who parks crooked, who leaves a trash can out past 6 p.m., who breathes wrong near the community flower beds. You probably won't survive this. If you genuinely enjoy my stories, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Let's ease into tonight's journey together. You drag your suitcase across the driveway of your new suburban dream. At least, that's what your realtor called it. A quiet, friendly HOA community with strong neighborhood engagement. You remember nodding, thinking that meant block parties and maybe a community pool that didn't smell like disappointment. But the moment you step toward your front door, you get the first hint that something is off. A woman appears on the sidewalk, moving like she was waiting for you specifically. She's clutching a clipboard, never a good sign, and wearing a polo shirt embroidered with the HOA logo. A stylized little house framed by 2 laurel branches. Very Victorious vibes for a suburban committee. "Welcome," she says, with a smile that doesn't blink. "We've been expecting you." You freeze. Expecting you. You didn't even tell your realtor you were arriving tonight. But before you can ask how she knew, she's already gliding closer, offering a packet thick enough to stun a medium-sized rodent. "Your homeowner orientation packet," she chirps. "Mandatory reading tonight. We like to ensure new residents adapt." She taps the clipboard once, sharply, like punctuation. The sound echoes a little too clearly across the cul-de-sac. As she hands you the packet, you notice something peculiar. A faint symbol embossed on the folder's corner, barely visible unless the porch light hits it right. A spiral. Neat, tight, looping inward like it wants to pull your gaze into the center. You rub your thumb across it. It's warm. The woman's smile sharpens. "You'll settle in beautifully," she says. "Everyone does." She turns and walks away without waiting for a thank you, moving with that eerie, synchronized suburban rhythm, like she's part of a flock you didn't volunteer to join. You watch her disappear down the street, where 3 other neighbors stand on their porches, staring in perfect stillness. No waving now. No smiles. Just watching. You clear your throat, trying to shake the prickle forming at the base of your neck, and shove the packet under your arm. The house key scrapes in the lock as you let yourself inside for the first time. The interior smells faintly of lemon cleaner and something else, something like old paper and warm earth. A combination you can't quite place. Your footsteps echo softly across the wooden floors, every sound feeling amplified by the strangely hollow air. You set down your luggage and open the orientation packet on the kitchen counter. The first page greets you with bold, overly cheerful lettering. A welcome, new resident. We are delighted you've joined our community. Please review these guidelines before nightfall. Nightfall. That's weirdly specific. You check the clock. 9:17 p.m. Nightfall happened an hour ago. A soft thump echoes from outside, like something heavy shifting near your front porch. You take a slow breath. It's probably nothing, you tell yourself. Probably just a package, or a raccoon delivering a package. Honestly, in this neighborhood, the raccoon might be the most normal option. Still, you peek out the window. Nothing. No box. No animal. Just those same three neighbors still on their porches, still staring. You close the blinds very, very gently. The packet's next page is titled, Rules for Harmonious Living. You skim. All residents must maintain landscaping to HOA standards. No exterior modifications without pre-approval. All lights must remain on from dusk until dawn. Do not enter the clubhouse after 11 p.m. And never look directly into the cul-de-sac fountain. Okay. You blink. That last one was not standard homeowner stuff. You read it again. Still there. Still bold. Still unsettling. You lean closer. Why not look at the fountain? What's wrong with it? Before you can spiral into theories involving toxic algae, cursed pennies, or the world's most judgmental koi fish, a new sound rises from outside, soft, rhythmic, like a chant carried on wind. It pulses in low waves. Too structured to be wind. Too human to be coincidence. You step back from the window on instinct. The packet warns again. Do not look at the fountain. You swallow as the chanting grows louder, steady as a heartbeat. Your neighborhood, the one with the perfect lawns and the smiling polo lady, is doing something. Something they don't want you seeing. Something they hold meetings about after nightfall. And as the lights of every house flicker in unison, just once, like a breath, you get the unmistakable feeling that you didn't move into a community. You were recruited. The chanting outside keeps rising, and you stand in the middle of your kitchen with the orientation packet open like it's a magical shield. Spoiler, it is absolutely not a magical shield. It's cardstock. You're pretty sure if the HOA wanted to vaporize you for leaving a garden hose uncoiled, a laminated packet wouldn't save you. Still, holding it makes you feel slightly less alone. The lights flicker again. You slowly step away from the window, because if the packet tells you not to look at the fountain, and the neighbors are chanting near the fountain, then you're absolutely not going to be the protagonist in a horror movie who says, "I'm sure it's fine," right, before getting spiritually absorbed into a decorative water feature. You move to your living room and sink onto the couch, which creaks like it's trying to warn you about something. The house isn't old, but the sound is old, older than the nails holding the wood together. It's the kind of creak that makes you picture past owners who never fully left. You glance at the orientation packet again. There's a third page. Nighttime expectations. Residents must remain indoors after the third flicker. Do not acknowledge the watchers on the porches. If approached, recite the welcome verse. You blink. Welcome verse. You flip the page. And there it is, printed in clean italic text. We dwell in harmony, in circle and in sign. We watch, we wait, we keep the line. Order within, order without. You read it twice, mostly because you're 90% sure you heard a neighbor whispering that exact rhyme earlier today. Except you thought it was just someone reading their grocery list in a poetic mood. You mutter nope and close the packet. The chanting outside grows rhythmic, synchronized, like 100 people humming the same uncanny frequency. You feel it settle into the walls, into your bones, into the carefully measured distance between every identical house on the block. You take a slow breath, trying to calm your pulse. And that's when you hear footsteps. Not outside. Inside. Upstairs. Soft, deliberate, slow. Your breath catches. You definitely locked the door. You checked twice, because you're the kind of person who double-checks doors and also triple-checks ovens even when you didn't use them. The footsteps move across the upstairs hallway, one step, then another, like someone pacing just above you. You stand frozen, trying to listen past the pounding of your own heartbeat. The footsteps stop. A silence. A deep, heavy silence that feels aware. You swallow hard. Then the ceiling creaks directly above you. You don't move. You don't breathe. You focus all your energy into becoming part of the couch's molecular structure. And then, your phone buzzes. You jump a full inch off the cushions. You grab the phone like it's a flotation device in the ocean of creepy suburbia. New message, unknown number. Just one sentence. Stay downstairs. Your stomach drops into your socks. You type back with trembling fingers. Who is this? Instant reply. HOA Safety Advisory. Do not go upstairs during initiation. You stare at the message. Initiation. Initiation of what? You definitely did not sign up for a cult orientation. You barely signed up for the mortgage. The chanting outside swells, suddenly louder, like whoever's leading the choir just hit the dramatic escalation button. A gust of cold air snakes under your front door, carrying the faint scent of wet stone and something metallic. You inch toward the staircase, because apparently your survival instincts left the chat. The upstairs hallway light snaps on by itself. You freeze at the base of the stairs, staring upward as the glow spills down in sharp, clean lines. You whisper to yourself, this is how people die in stories. The house answers with another slow creak. You look around for something, anything, resembling self-defense. Your options include a decorative throw pillow, a scented candle, the HOA orientation packet, probably the deadliest option, honestly. You grab the candle. It smells like autumn orchard serenity, which feels aggressively ironic. Another message pings your phone. If you hear their footsteps, they've noticed you. Your breath stalls. You stare up the stairs again. A silence. A stillness. No footsteps now. Maybe that's worse. You swallow, forcing a whisper. Okay, staying downstairs. Absolutely, no problem. You back away. The doorbell rings. One soft chime. Then another. And another. But the strangest part isn't the sound. It's the rhythm. 3 knocks, 3 chimes, 3 slow breaths between them. A pattern. You tiptoe to the peephole. Outside, on your porch. No one. Just the dark outline of your welcome mat and the faint vibration of chanting drifting from the fountain. You're about to step back when a shape slides into view. Not a person. A shadow. Long, narrow, bending wrong, as if it isn't being cast by anything physical. It stands absolutely still, inches from your door, and though it doesn't have a face, you feel it looking at you. Your phone buzzes again. Do not open the door. Well, yeah. You weren't planning to open the door for an eldritch silhouette offering questionable Girl Scout cookies. You step away carefully, slowly, pressing your back against the wall as the shadow remains fixed on the other side of the wood. You whisper, trying to reassure yourself. Perfect new neighborhood, they said. Great community engagement, they said. The shadow begins to tap. Softly, slowly, like it's mimicking a knock it learned from watching humans. You squeeze your eyes shut and focus on breathing, on staying anchored. The chanting outside peaks, loud, swirling, chaotic. The porch light flickers violently, then steadies. You open your eyes. The shadow is gone. Just gone. You exhale shakily. And then your doorknob turns. Just one click. Not opening. Not forcing. Just testing. You stumble backward until you hit the couch again, clutching the candle like it's a holy relic. Your phone buzzes one last time. They know you're here. Stay absolutely still. Initiation is almost complete. Your house hums around you. Your lights buzz. The chanting shifts tone. Somewhere outside, you hear a splash from the forbidden fountain. And for the first time since arriving, you realize something very important. You didn't move into this neighborhood. You entered a circle. And circles, especially ones with spirals on their welcome packets, do not break easily. The house goes unnervingly still again, like someone hit a cosmic mute button. For a moment you wonder if the chanting, the shadow, the footsteps, maybe your brain just went into new homeowner meltdown mode, like a psychological welcome basket. But then the floor beneath you gives a subtle, unmistakable tremor. Not an earthquake, not pipes, a pulse. Your house just pulsed. like it has a heartbeat, like it's listening. You hold the candle tighter. The silence presses in from every angle, thick and expectant. You swear the air itself feels heavier, a kind of static weight that gathers behind your ears and sinks into your shoulders. You glance up the staircase again. The hallway light is still on, bright and still, as if it's waiting for you to make a mistake. You whisper, "Nope," under your breath. The house creaks in what suspiciously sounds like disagreement. You take a few careful steps toward the kitchen, not because you think there's safety there, but because it's the room with the most objects that could be improvised into weapons. A whisk, a rolling pin, a cast-iron skillet that could double as a medieval siege device. You reach for it, and then you stop. Because from the far end of the kitchen, the basement door handle jiggles. Slowly, deliberately, as if testing whether it's locked. You didn't even know you had a basement. Another jolt shakes through you. Something is definitely down there. And it definitely knows you're up here. You step backward instinctively, but your heel bumps into something. You turn and find yourself face to face with a framed picture hanging on the wall. Except it wasn't hanging there earlier. You would have noticed this one. It's a photo of your street. Clean, perfect daylight. Every house lined up like soldiers. But in the photo, there's something impossible. In every window, a figure watches. Some tall, some short, some leaning too close against the glass. Dozens of them. Maybe more. You lean closer. The frame tips. The photo falls face down with a soft slap. You swallow hard and kneel to pick it up. The photo is different now. Instead of your street, it shows the fountain at night. And in the fountain's center, a spiral, glowing faintly, pulsing slowly, exactly like your house did. You drop the frame. It clatters loudly against the floor. Instantly, the basement door jerks hard. The handle rattles violently. You stumble backward, trying not to scream. Your phone vibrates again. Do not acknowledge the noise. If you acknowledge it, it strengthens. Of course. Just like the packet said. Do not acknowledge the watchers on the porches. Do not enter the clubhouse after 11. Do not look at the fountain. This neighborhood has more don'ts than your high school driver's ed teacher. You force yourself to breathe slowly, evenly, hoping the thing behind the basement door interprets your silence as compliance. The handle stops rattling. For 2 seconds. Then, a scratch. A long, dragging scrape across the inside of the door. Like fingernails made of stone. You lift the candle, gripping it like a tiny, cinnamon-scented sword. Another scratch. Slower this time. Almost affectionate. You back away until your spine hits the island counter. Your phone buzzes yet again. Good, it's losing interest. You whisper seriously, because my heart rate is at full Olympic sprint. Immediately, the basement door bangs hard, as if responding to your voice. You slap your hand over your mouth. The house groans, and the pulse beneath your feet returns, 2 beats this time, like an impatient tap. The lights flicker. The chanting outside changes cadence. Everything is escalating. And then, all at once, the front door unlocks. You don't see it. You hear it. The unmistakable click of a deadbolt sliding open. Your entire body seizes. Who unlocked it? You didn't. And the shadow thing didn't seem like the use keys responsibly type. Very slowly, you turn your head toward the entryway. The door is cracked, open half an inch. Just enough for cold air to seep in. Just enough for something to slip through. You wait. You listen. You feel the temperature drop another few degrees. Then, a whisper. Not outside. Inside. Coming from the doorframe itself, like someone pressed their mouth to the wood. A new resident. The voice is smooth, low, patient. The tone someone uses to talk to a stray animal they're trying not to spook. Come to the fountain. Nope. Immediate nope. A buffet of nope with a side of absolutely not. You shake your head instinctively. The whisper comes again, firmer this time. Come to the fountain. You step away. Your phone pings with a new message. Do not answer the summons. They're testing you. You gulp. Testing you for what? You didn't even get time to unpack your toothbrush. The whisper stops. The door swings shut all on its own. The lock slides back into place. Silence again. But not peace. Not even close. A faint rumbling starts outside, like dozens of feet shifting in perfect unison. You edge toward a window and lift the bottom corner of the blinds, just enough to peek. The entire cul-de-sac is gathered around the fountain now. Every neighbor you've seen. Every neighbor you haven't. A perfect circle of silhouettes facing inward. The fountain glows faintly, that same spiral shape swirling in its depths. And then, all their heads turn toward your house. At the exact same moment, you drop the blinds. Your pulse stumbles. Another message appears on your phone. Stay where you are. They cannot enter until you accept the welcome. You sit down on the kitchen floor because your legs have officially resigned. Then, the upstairs light clicks off, and a new sound begins at the top of the staircase. Footsteps. Slow. Descending. One step at a time. They're inside. Whatever was upstairs is coming down. You grip the candle with both hands. You whisper, "I didn't accept anything." And just as the footsteps reach the halfway point, a new notification pops up. That's why they're coming. The footsteps pause on the staircase, exactly at the midpoint, right where the shadows meet the spill of light from the downstairs lamps. Whoever, or whatever, is standing there is just out of sight, like your house is deliberately hiding it from you, or like it is deliberately letting you imagine the worst. A wooden step creaks under its weight. Not heavy, not light, measured, purposeful. You hold your breath, clutching your candle so tightly your knuckles start blending into the wax. The flame trembles, so do you. Your phone buzzes again. Do not look at it. If you look, it will descend. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Just the survival advice you always dreamed of. Don't make eye contact with the mysterious stairs entity, currently debating whether your soul pairs well with decorative pond water. You stare straight at the wall instead. A very interesting wall. Possibly the most interesting wall you've ever seen. Another step. Then another. Slow dragging, like it's leaning forward, testing the distance between you. You feel your heartbeat climbing into your throat like it's trying to escape before you do. When the footsteps stop again, they're about 4 steps from the bottom. The air around you changes, cooler, tinged with the smell of wet stone. The same scent you noticed earlier near the fountain. You don't dare look. You stare harder at the wall, trying to memorize every single molecule of paint. Another buzz. Good, hold still. You don't respond. Even typing feels like it will make a noise loud enough to be considered disrespectful by whatever is on those stairs. Then something new happens. A soft tick echoes through the house. Then another. Rhythmic. You realize with creeping dread what it is. Fingernails tapping the railing, moving slowly downward. Tap, tap, tap. Your stomach sinks into the floor. You whisper under your breath, "This is so above my pay grade." Another tap. Closer now. And then the tapping stops. The entire house goes still. Even the chanting outside falters, as if the neighbors sense something shifting. The lights inside dim, then flare bright for a split second. You squeeze your eyes shut. And then, knock. A single, firm knock. Coming from inside the house. Not the basement. Not the front door. Not the staircase. It comes from the hallway closet near the kitchen. You turn your head just a little toward the door. The candle flame flutters violently, bending in the direction of the closet like it's being drawn toward it. Your hands shake. Your phone buzzes. Do not open it. No problem. Zero plans to open any doors ever again. Actually, you might remove all doors from your future homes for safety. Another knock. Harder this time. Followed by another slow dragging sound across the wood, like fingertips sweeping back and forth. The staircase creaks again, something shifting its weight, listening. You freeze completely because you suddenly understand something. There's more than one presence in this house. Whatever is on the stairs is not the same thing knocking inside the closet. Your mouth goes dry. You whisper, barely audible, "How many of them are there?" Your phone buzzes with frightening speed. All of them. It's initiation night. You swallow a noise you don't want to call a whimper. Something shifts behind the closet door. Then a soft voice, thin and distant, whispers your name. Your full name. You drop the candle. It hits the tile, rolls, and comes to a stop with its flame flickering wildly. You scramble to pick it back up before it goes out, but as your fingers reach it, the flame stabilizes on its own. That is concerning. Your phone lights up again. Do not answer the one in the closet. It is unfinished. Unfinished. You feel like this is the wrong time for cryptic vocabulary. You text back, finally, because the tension becomes unbearable. What does unfinished mean? 3 dots appear. Typing. Then they vanish. Reappear. Vanish again. Then. Later, stay calm. You stare at the message. Stay calm. That ship sailed, sank, and is currently being studied by deep-sea archaeologists. Another step descends the staircase. You shut your eyes again. The house groans deeply, like something ancient stretching beneath the floorboards. Outside, the chanting rises again, but this time, it's not directed at the fountain. It's directed at your house. Voices thrum in perfect unison, forming a low-frequency sound that vibrates your insides like you're a human tuning fork. The walls vibrate. The windows shake. The air thickens like syrup. Your phone buzzes. Cover your ears. Now. You don't overthink it. You slap your hands over your ears immediately. Just in time. Because the chanting shifts into a piercing, high-pitched wail, human, but not comfortably so. The pitch wavers in impossible ways, bending in and out of itself, like the sound is circling your house in a spiral. Even with your ears covered, it drills into your skull. Your eyes water. The candle flame elongates, thin as a needle. And then, the front door unlocks again. Slowly, deliberately, you spin toward it. Wind blows through the crack in the door, carrying the unmistakable scent of the fountain, cold stone, algae, and something metallic underneath. The chanting halts. Everything halts. Your phone buzzes once more. If you want to survive, you must not let them inside. The door creaks an inch wider. A hand slips through the gap. Pale, still, fingers too long by just a fraction. You step backward until your shoulders hit the island counter. The hand feels the air, searching. Slow, curious, sensing. It doesn't push the door open. It waits. Your breath catches. Your phone buzzes with a single chilling sentence. Make no sound. They're listening for acceptance. The hand freezes in the doorway, as if straining to hear your next breath. You shut your mouth tight, sealing every sound. The hand twitches, then curls, then slowly retracts. The door swings shut. The lock clicks into place. You stand shaking, barely able to process the relief, until you hear something new. The slow, final step from the staircase. Whatever was upstairs has now reached the bottom. The final step creaks under its weight, slow, steady, inevitable. You don't dare turn your head. You don't breathe. The candle in your hand burns in a rigid, unmoving column of flame, perfectly straight, like even the fire is holding its breath. The presence reaches the foot of the stairs. You can feel it now, like cold fingers brushing the back of your neck without ever touching your skin. A pressure, a nearness, and a sense of something trying to match the rhythm of your breathing, sinking with you, waiting for the right moment to, what? Reveal itself, claim you, fold you neatly into the HOA's filing system under new recruits. You take the tiniest step backward, not even a full step, more like your body just whispered nope and shuffled an inch. The air behind you shifts. The presence shifts with you. Your phone buzzes. You flinch so hard you nearly swallow your own tongue. You check the screen. It stands behind you. Do not look. That would have been excellent information 10 minutes ago. You keep your eyes locked firmly on the kitchen floor tiles. You've never admired tiles this intensely in your entire life. You could write a dissertation on these tiles now. Another message appears. It will try to mimic someone. Do not respond. Fantastic. Truly. Because you hear it then, your name. Your name spoken in a voice that should not be possible. It's familiar. Too familiar. A voice you haven't heard in years. A voice that should be comforting. A voice that should absolutely not be inside your brand new, slightly evil suburban nightmare house. It whispers again, soft and warm. Hey, it's me. Turn around. Your heart stumbles. You grip the candle harder, the wax warm against your palm. The voice continues, gentle, coaxing. You're okay. Just look at me. You squeeze your eyes shut. Because your phone buzzes again. It searches your memories. Don't let it anchor. Anchor. Whatever that means. Probably nothing good. The house creaks again, this time directly behind you. A faint pressure forms at your lower back, like fingertips resting just above your spine. Not pushing, just locating you, marking you. The voice speaks once more, using an impossibly soft tone. I've missed you. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. You don't move. You don't speak. You don't acknowledge. After a long, unbearable moment, the pressure at your back withdraws. The presence shifts away, footsteps padding softly toward the living room. You hear it moving around the couch, circling the coffee table, dragging something gently along the wall. Exploring. It speaks again, this time with a new voice. A different one from your past. Then another. It cycles through them, like flipping radio stations in your memories. You catch fragments. So remember when you always said, I told you I'd come back. You wrap your arms around yourself, squeezing tight so your shaking doesn't give you away. The candle flame bends backward toward the hallway, toward the presence. Then just as suddenly, it goes still again. Your phone lights up. It is losing your trace. Stay silent. Outside, the chanting suddenly stops. Not fades. Not quiets. Just stops. Like someone cut the sound with a knife. The silence that follows is far worse. You hear a faint splash from the fountain. Then another. Something enters the water. Something large. The presence in your house stiffens, like it senses the new movement outside. A wet, heavy sound echoes from the cul-de-sac, followed by dozens of synchronized gasps, your neighbors reacting in a single, unified breath. Your house vibrates, a deeper pulse this time, like a warning. Then your front door unlocks again, but this time the door doesn't open. Instead, a soft knock follows. 4 slow knocks, evenly spaced, measured, not like the entity from before. No, this one feels intentional, authoritative. Your phone buzzes. That knock is the HOA board. You must answer it. You blink. Text back quickly. What? Why them? Why now? Immediate reply. They must confirm your presence, or the other one will claim you. The other one. The thing stepping around your living room shapes. The unfinished one in the closet. The hand through the door. All of them. You take a shaky breath. Another 4 knocks. Behind you, the presence freezes. Its gentle mimicry stops. The candles across the house blink back to life, all at once. Your phone buzzes again, one final, urgent message. Open the door before it speaks again. You force your legs to move. 1 step, then another. The presence behind you doesn't follow, but you feel its attention sharpening, tightening, like a thread pulling taut. You reach the front door. Your hand trembles on the knob. The knocks stop. A silence. You swallow hard, inhale, and turn the knob. The door opens, revealing the HOA board president. The polo shirt. The embroidered house logo. The clipboard. Same eerie smile. Same unblinking eyes. Except now she looks different. Calmer. Heavier, like she's carrying something unseen. She nods once. Congratulations, she says softly. You survived Section 1. She hands you a fresh packet. This one thinner, embossed with a deeper spiral. You're ready for the next stage. Your lights flicker. Your house exhales. The presence behind you retreats up the stairs, and the board president steps back into the night. The door closes on its own. You stand there shaking, holding the new packet, knowing this is only the beginning. You don't open the new packet right away. You can't. Your hands are still shaking from the presence that mimicked the voices of people it had no right to know. Your heartbeat hasn't returned to anything resembling normal. Your house feels like a living creature, adjusting its weight after watching you pass a test you never agreed to take. You set the spiral embossed packet on the kitchen island, careful not to disturb anything. Even the countertop feels warm, like the house is listening, waiting. The front door locks itself with a soft click. You swallow. The air shifts again, this time downward, toward the basement. You hadn't even realized you had a basement until now. A deep, groaning thud echoes beneath the floorboards, followed by a slow, rhythmic tap, like someone testing the boards from below with a single finger. Nope. That is a problem for future you. Right now, you need to breathe. The candle you dropped earlier relights itself. Floating embers drift upward before dissolving into nothing. Finally, after convincing your legs they still work, you open the packet. Inside is a single sheet of thick paper. No bullet points. No tiny print. No cutesy clip art houses. Just one line. Section 2, Orientation of the Observer. Below it, a second line handwritten in looping, ancient-looking ink. Do not observe what observes you. You stare. What does that even? Your phone buzzes. Unknown number. You hesitate, then tap it open. If you follow the instructions correctly, Section 2 will be easier than Section 1. If not, you will be noticed. You reply. Noticed by what? No answer. A scraping sound interrupts you, coming from the living room. Slow. Deliberate. Metal against fabric. You edge toward the doorway. Nothing is out of place until you see the couch. It has turned. Not much, just a few inches. But it's facing the hallway now. Facing you. Your mouth goes dry. Before you can react, the TV turns on. A static. Then a voice, flat, monotone, genderless, filters through. Observer orientation will begin in 60 seconds. You glance around. Okay, by who, where? As if hearing you, the static shifts into an image. Your house. Every room. Every corner. A map, but alive, shifting as the house breathes. And blinking across various points are small, pulsing symbols. Circles. Triangles. Spirals. Each labeled. Passive observer. Active observer. Unaligned observer. Most blink harmlessly. But 3 symbols glow a deeper red. 3 points marked with reciprocal observer detected. Your stomach drops. All 3 red points are inside your house. 1 in the hallway near the stairs. 1 in the kitchen behind you. 1 directly beneath you. The basement. The voice on TV continues. Do not acknowledge the reciprocal observers. Do not attempt to see them. If they attempt communication, remain neutral. Do not reciprocate. You quietly whisper. Define reciprocate. The TV immediately answers. Do not respond to their gaze. Do not mirror their movements. Do not recognize their shape. Your breathing speeds up. Wait, recognize their Shah. The TV shuts off. The room plunges into thick, heavy quiet. And then, a soft breath behind you. So close, your hair lifts. Not touching. Just enough to let you know. Something is standing directly behind you. You don't turn. You don't breathe. You don't blink. Because slowly, deliberately, its breath aligns with yours. It waits for you to inhale, to exhale, to match it, to reciprocate. Your phone buzzes. Do not let it sync with you. You freeze, lungs burning. The breath behind you drags out into a long, wet exhale, displeased. Then the floorboard creaks as it takes a single step backward. Another, retreating, but still there, still watching, still observing the observer. You keep your eyes fixed forward. The house lights flicker once. Then the voice returns, not from the TV this time, but whispered directly into your ear by something you refuse to name. Orientation has begun. You stay perfectly still. The whisper still lingers along the curve of your ear, like breath imprisoned in a place breath shouldn't linger. Your pulse thunders loud enough you're pretty sure your mysterious, uninvited observer can hear it. But you don't move. You don't acknowledge. You do exactly what the HOA packet implied. You pretend you are not aware you're being watched. The floorboard behind you sighs again, another step. A slow withdrawal. A small mercy. Finally, after an eternity measured in microscopic breaths, the presence slips back into the deeper darkness of the house, retreating toward the basement door with a scrape and a click you swear sounds like a smile. Only when you're certain it's gone do you inhale, and immediately regret it, because the basement door is now open. A slim wedge of absolute black yawns from the doorway, and cold air rolls up from below like fog made of teeth. You whisper, "Nope, no thank you, not today, Satan," which is ironic, because staying here is technically today, and for all you know, Satan is on the HOA board. You take a careful step away from the open doorway, and freeze again. There's a shape on the top step. Tall, still, silhouetted by nothingness behind it. Not moving, just waiting the way a question waits for an answer it already knows. You do not acknowledge. You do not approach. You do not run. Instead, you calmly pick up your phone and text the unknown number again. I think one of your red observers is standing in my basement doorway. A moment passes. Then your phone vibrates. Incorrect. There are now 2. Oh, good. Lovely. Fantastic. You don't respond because your living room light flickers, not the gentle flicker from a dying bulb, but a purposeful blink, like Morse code tapped by the house itself. The TV turns on again. No static this time. Just the HOA clubhouse. But not how you've seen it by day. Cute, beige, bland. No. At night, through the TV lens, the clubhouse is lit by those same spiral lanterns that nearly cooked your sanity when you first moved in. Their carved patterns twist shadows into shapes that should not move but do. Figures gather inside, hooded, identical silhouettes, each one holding a stone tablet carved with symbols that seem to breathe when you blink. A voice, your monotone instructor, speaks again. Orientation, objective one. Witness without witnessing. You whisper, "Bro, what does that mean?" The TV, very pointedly, does not answer. Instead, the image zooms in on the clubhouse meeting room. A chair sits at the center of the circle. And sitting on that chair is you. You or someone who looks exactly like you. Same clothes, same messy hair, same exhausted, "I didn't ask for this" slouch. Your stomach does a gymnastic routine you definitely did not sign off on. TV, you sits quietly, hands folded, breathing slow and steady, as hooded figures move around you, adjusting the lanterns, chanting low words that roll backward like unwinding tape. A hooded figure steps closer to the TV camera, face obscured. But the voice is unmistakable. Your voice. Your cadence. Your quiet sarcasm. It speaks. Orientation, objective too. Accept what can't be true without letting it be true. You blink, okay, but that's not even. The TV shuts off. Again. And in the corner of the room, the couch groans softly, shifting back into its original position as if pretending it never moved. The house exhales. A low, rolling sound from beneath the floorboards follows, like something large dragging a deliberate fingertip in a lazy spiral. Your phone buzzes again. Do not trust what you see next. Wonderful. You turn toward the kitchen and stop dead. Because your kitchen is gone. Replaced by the clubhouse interior. Right where your fridge should be, a hooded figure turns, holding a steaming mug of something dark and viscous. It raises the mug in greeting. You blink hard once. The kitchen flickers back. A fridge. A sink. Counter. Old normal. Except the mug is still there. Sitting on the counter. Still steaming. You inch closer, because apparently you've lost all survival instincts. It smells like hot mulch, burnt rosemary, a hint of lemon. You lift the mug to eye level, not daring to sip it. There's writing on the side, handwritten in marker. Welcome, new observer. Please hydrate. You put the mug down so carefully, it might as well be radioactive. Then you hear a scraping from the basement again. Slow, Heavy. Climbing. Your phone buzzes. Orientation. Objective 3. Follow the sound. You reply instantly. I refuse. But the basement door slams fully open. The staircase lights flicker on. And a voice, not human, but trying very hard to pretend, calls up in a perfect imitation of your tone. Come on down. We're waiting. You stand at the top of the basement stairs like someone who has absolutely no intention of going down, while simultaneously being gently bullied by cosmic entities who clearly do intend for you to go down. The voice below repeats itself. Same tone, same cadence, same subtle impatience that you usually reserve for customer service bots. Come on down. We're waiting. You grip the railing. It's warm. Not someone just touched this warm, more like the railing has a pulse warm. Nope. But also, the basement light stays steady. And the scraping has stopped. Which, statistically speaking, in a horror scenario, somehow feels worse. Your phone buzzes again. You must complete orientation, objective 3, for the section to progress. You hiss under your breath, "Don't break the fourth wall at me right now." But the phone remains smugly silent. Finally, against 100% of your better judgment, you take one step down. Nothing grabs you. No claws. No hands. No spiraling tentacles politely asking to check your HOA compliance badges. Just silence. You descend one careful step at a time. The deeper you go, the colder the air becomes. So cold your breath fogs out in front of you like you're walking into the mouth of winter. Halfway down, you pause. Something shifts, below or above, you can't tell. A soft whisper slides along the back of your neck like silk, dragged across skin. Do not miss the last step. You jolt, gripping the railing tighter. Great. There are warnings now. You glance down. The bottom of the staircase ends in shadow. Okay, you mutter. I'll bite. What's wrong with the last step? Your foot hovers over it. The air around your ankle trembles. Like something down there wants you to step wrong. You lift your foot back. You step over the final step, landing safely on the concrete floor beyond. Instantly, the shadows around the last step ripple inward, closing like a jaw snapping shut. You exhale sharply. Cool, perfect. I love it here. The basement is enormous, far bigger than your house footprint should allow. The walls stretch out into a narrow corridor that curves left in an impossible angle, like a hallway folded over time and then ironed wrong. Dim spiral lanterns line both walls, glowing with that same soft, too organic light. Their carved shapes squirm at the edges of your vision. You do not look directly at them. The corridor hums, low and slow, like the house is aware of your presence and politely adjusting its ribcage. A figure steps out from around the bend. You freeze. It freezes too. Then it raises a hand. You do not return the gesture. The rules were clear. Do not reciprocate. Instead, you maintain the expression of someone who is absolutely not acknowledging anything right now. The figure tilts its head, slowly, curiously. Its outline is humanish, but too smooth around the edges. Too tall. Too symmetrical. Like someone described a person to it once, and it filled in the blanks with creative freedom. It takes one soundless step closer. You force your gaze past it, down the hall, as if it's just another IKEA lamp you're choosing to ignore. The creature stops, then imitates your ignored posture, hands behind back, weight shifted. It is mirroring you, testing you, trying to bait you into reciprocation. You stay still. The air thickens. Finally, the creature turns, drifting further down the corridor like a shadow carried by wind. It disappears around the bend. You exhale. Your phone buzzes. Correct. Objective 3 is complete. Proceed. You push forward, careful not to look behind you, even though you can feel something following at a polite, sinister distance. The corridor descends at an angle so gradual you don't notice at first, until you realize your ears are popping. The hum in the walls deepens. You smell something floral, lavender. No, something like lavender, if lavender had been grown in darkness and fed secrets. Another corner. Another lantern. Then, a doorway. A massive arched frame carved into the concrete wall, glowing with a faint gold shimmer like it's filled with warm breath instead of light. Above the arch is a phrase, written in the same looping ink as the earlier warning. The chamber of unnoticed things. Nope. Absolutely not. A whole chamber dedicated to things that shouldn't be noticed. That sounds like a nightmare warehouse. But the doorway pulses softly, like it senses you. You step inside, and immediately understand the name. The chamber is filled with objects. Stacks of them. Shapes, textures, outlines. All of them familiar, but wrong. A bicycle with no wheels. A coat with sleeves that taper into shadows instead of fabric. A mailbox whose door opens inward into an endless black throat. A pair of shoes with no soles, but footprints gather beneath them on the floor. As you walk through, some objects tremble. Some shift. Some lean toward you, reaching with invisible gravity, like abandoned thoughts trying to be remembered. A low voice echoes through the chamber. These are the things the neighborhood agreed not to see. It comes from everywhere at once. You whisper, and we're keeping that agreement, right? Yes, please say yes. The walls breathe in, then out. Orientation, objective 4. Identify what should be noticed. Your stomach drops. What does that even mean? The voice answers. One object is not like the others. Find it. You spin toward the shelves. 1,000 items stare back at you. Copies of forgotten things. Lost things. Impossible things. And somewhere among them, something that wants to be seen. Something that should be seen. You take a shaky step forward. The chamber waits. Your pulse quickens. And then, a single object at the far end blinks. Not shines. Not glows. Blinks. Like an eye. You walk toward it slowly. It's a small stone, smooth, round, grey. Nothing unusual. Except for the fact that as you move closer, the shelves around it shudder and twist, turning away, recoiling from the stone like it's a spotlight. The stone pulses once, then whispers in a faint voice only you can hear. You can notice me. Your heart jumps straight into your throat. You stumble backward, nearly knocking over the steaming mug, which miraculously remains upright. The smell of hot mulch and burnt rosemary fills your nostrils, making your stomach churn. But oddly, you feel compelled to breathe it in, like your body recognizes the warning embedded in the scent. The basement door groans open wider, the blackness inside seeming to stretch farther than it physically should. The spiral of shadows inside looks almost alive, writhing and shifting in ways that defy physics. You catch glimpses of shapes that shouldn't exist, limbs bending in impossible angles, eyes blinking in patterns that make your brain itch. You clutch the phone as if it's a talisman. Another message appears. Do not step inside unprepared. Do not acknowledge your double. Double, right. The twin version of you seated in the clubhouse vision, observing, mimicking, waiting. You shiver. That double didn't just look like you, it acted like you. That's the thing about mirrors that move independently. They can learn your habits faster than you notice. A scraping sound echoes again, this time louder and closer. You realize it's not coming from the basement alone. The walls themselves seem to vibrate with the rhythm of the scrapes, as if the house has become the instrument of your initiation. You inch closer, compelled by a strange mix of fear and necessity. The packet of instructions from the first section still lies on the counter, and the new packet sits beside it. The spiral embossing seems to pulse faintly, in sync with the house's heartbeat, urging you to continue. Another message pops up. Orientation Step 1. Recognize without recognition. Orientation Step 2. Approach without consent. Orientation Step 3. Survive by obedience. You swallow hard, your mouth suddenly dry as sandpaper. Obedience, you whisper. The word sounds heavier than it should, ancient, heavy with tradition, expectation, and menace. The kind of obedience that doesn't require threats, only the weight of inevitability. The basement staircase shifts slightly, the wooden steps creaking under some unseen pressure. You step back, realizing with a sinking feeling that your house is no longer a refuge, it's a participant. Every sound, every shadow, every subtle vibration is intentional. You are under observation not just by whatever lurks below, but by the house itself. The voice returns, soft but insistent. Do not hesitate. Do not resist. Do not acknowledge the reciprocal observers. You glance toward the kitchen window. The cul-de-sac outside is dark, almost impossibly silent. The fountain is gone, or at least the light that defines it is snuffed. You can sense the neighbors' collective gaze, waiting, synchronized like predators in a controlled ritual. They are patient, but you know patience isn't eternal. Your fingers tighten around the phone. You take a careful step toward the basement, every movement slow, controlled, deliberate. Each step echoes against the walls. You remind yourself that observation is passive, simply being seen without reacting. Yet your body betrays you with the tiniest tremor. A second presence joins you on the staircase, silent and measured. The air grows colder, heavier, charged with anticipation. A faint whisper brushes against your ear, mimicking your own voice. Welcome, observer. You belong. You freeze. You do not respond. You do not turn. You do not allow recognition to anchor you. And that is when the basement exhales. A low, resonant groan emanates from the dark void below. The steps themselves vibrate, a slow pulse that seems to sync with your heartbeat. You realize in a dreadful clarity that the house itself is communicating or testing your obedience. The spiral symbols on the packet glow faintly, matching the rhythm of the pulse. A hypnotic, inescapable rhythm that draws your attention while reminding you to resist its lure. One message appears on your phone. The observers are patient. You must be more patient. Proceed. You take another step. The staircase groans under something massive moving beneath the boards. You can hear it, a scraping, dragging, deliberate. It's not coming from one spot. It's coming from multiple angles at once. Your knees buckle, but you force yourself to remain upright. The house is a maze of intentions, each creak and whisper a test, each shadow a question. And you are the answer, or you are the mistake. Another whisper, more insistent this time. Do not resist, do not submit, simply observe. You do nothing. You wait. And then the first movement from the basement fully reveals itself, a shape emerging from the darkness. It is tall, impossibly thin, features obscured by a shifting hood. Its hands are long, elegant, and disturbingly human, but not quite right. It pauses, examining you with a slow, deliberate tilt of its head. Its motion mirrors something, you. You do not acknowledge it. You stare straight ahead. A second shape steps forward, smaller, quieter, with a faint luminescence that seems to seep from under its hood. Your phone buzzes. Reciprocal observers detected. Do not reciprocate. Move forward. You realize with a shiver that moving forward isn't just a suggestion. It's the only way the ritual continues. You take the first step down into the basement. You descend the first step. The wood groans beneath your weight, not in protest, but in acknowledgement, like it's registering your compliance into some invisible ledger. The air thickens as you lower your foot to the next stair, and for a moment you're convinced the basement is inhaling you. Behind you, the kitchen light fades to a soft, dusky glow. Ahead, the void stretches deeper, swallowing what little light slips past your shoulders. The two tall, hooded shapes at the bottom of the stairs remain still, their forms blurry around the edges, like reality can't decide whether to permit their existence. You keep your eyes forward, finding a strange rhythm in letting yourself see them without seeing them. Your gaze hovers, unfocused and passive, a technique you didn't know you could do until now. A few more steps down, your phone buzzes again. You check it cautiously. Orientation phase, recognition control. Keep descending. Do not break focus. The basement hums in response, a deep, bone-vibrating resonance that seems to crawl through the walls and settle behind your eyes. It feels almost like a lullaby, if lullabies came from forgotten caverns beneath abandoned temples. You reach the halfway point where the staircase abruptly widens. That shouldn't be possible, not structurally. But the house seems to warp around you, stretching the space like a rubber band. The steps now lead to an open landing where spiral symbols are carved into the wood with surgical precision. The spirals pulse faintly. You feel your pulse trying to match theirs. You force yourself to resist. A soft rustling sound emerges behind you, something brushing against the air, not the stairs. Your muscles tense, but you know better than to look. Instead, you maintain that unfocused gaze straight ahead. Another presence joins the two figures at the bottom. A third one. Smaller, hunched, trembling, but not weak. It radiates something ancient, something expectant. It tilts its head, the movement sharp and bird-like, and the darkness beneath its hood deepens even further. You step onto the wide landing. Your phone buzzes with a new message. You are now within the observer threshold. Rules apply differently here. Oh, good, wonderful. Because everything so far has been so clear. You swallow a sarcastic laugh and keep your breathing level. The staircase behind you snaps shut, literally. The wooden planks fuse seamlessly, cutting off the exit and sealing you in. You stare forward, refusing to react. Your phone buzzes again. Very good. Do not acknowledge the closure. Right, closure. Totally didn't happen. Definitely not sealed in a basement with 3 hooded horrors and a spiraling ritual platform. The figures begin to move. Not toward you, but around you. Circling slowly. Their footfalls are silent, but the air shifts every time one passes behind you. You feel their shapes warping the temperature, one cold as static, one warm as breath, one a strange mix of both as they tighten their orbit. Your phone vibrates violently. Phase transition, reciprocal pressure test. Remain still. This determines your alignment. You freeze. The 3 figures close the circle, stopping just a foot away from you. Their hoods tilt upward in unison, and you feel them observing you with a focus so intense your thoughts begin to tangle, twisting like the spiral symbols on the floor. You keep your breathing shallow. Soft. Barely there. One figure raises its hand, long fingers splayed, and places it near your shoulder. Not touching, just close enough for you to feel the air bending around it. The other 2 follow, each mimicking the gesture. 3 hands, 3 points of energy, 3 observers studying your reactions. The air vibrates around you, and every instinct screams for you to run. You stay still. A new vibration starts, a slow, rhythmic tapping coming from behind the walls. Tap, tap, tap. It matches your heartbeat, then speeds up, then slows down. Testing, pressing, mirroring. One figure leans closer, and you hear a soft whisper echo inside your skull, not spoken aloud, but transmitted directly into your mind. Observe us observing you. You feel your control slip for half a second. Just half a second. Your gaze focuses. Sharp. Too sharp. You accidentally see the nearest figure and instantly regret it. Its hood falls away not like fabric, but like shadow dissolving. Beneath it is not a face, just hollow layers of spirals pulsing like a biological labyrinth. They move, folding over each other, creating the impression of a face attempting to exist. You snap your gaze away, heart hammering. The temperature drops sharply. Your phone buzzes. Once, twice, 3 times. You read the messages quickly. Do not break again. The observers noticed. Prepare for response. A low, droning sound fills the basement. The spirals on the floor glow brighter. The 3 figures freeze, then begin to uncurl. A stretch. Expand. Their shapes lengthen upward unnaturally, stretching toward the ceiling like shadows caught in a wind you can't feel. Their arms extend, fingers splitting into dozens of fine tendrils that wave like antennae. Your phone buzzes a 4th time. A single line. Run. Except there's nowhere to run. The staircase is gone. The walls are moving. And the observers have stopped withholding themselves. The basement air hits you like a cold wall. It's thick, damp, and smells faintly of wet stone and something you can't name. Something metallic, organic, alive. Your steps echo off the walls in a distorted, mocking rhythm, each footfall seeming to announce your trespass to whatever waits below. You glance down. The staircase has stretched somehow. Each step seems longer than it should be. The darkness at the bottom pools like liquid shadow. You realize it isn't merely shadow, it moves with purpose, as if aware of you, following your gaze without being seen. The spiral-embossed packet pulses gently in your hands. You feel it hum in sync with the basement's heartbeat. Following the instructions, you do not read further. You only feel the rhythm, allowing it to guide you forward. A whisper rises from the depths, soft, slow, echoing the cadence of your own breathing. Observer, step fully into your role. You keep moving, step by careful step. You feel rather than see shapes brushing past, out of your peripheral vision, shapes that vanish when you try to focus. They're teaching you restraint, teaching you to ignore. The basement widens suddenly into a cavernous space, walls lined with mirrors. But these mirrors do not reflect your image accurately. They distort. Some show your younger self. Others show older, weary versions of you. One reflects your current self perfectly, but its eyes blink when yours don't. Your stomach churns. You swallow hard, following the packet's unspoken rule. Do not acknowledge. You stare straight ahead, moving toward a spiral etched into the floor, glowing faintly. From the shadows, the first hooded figure steps forward. Its hand reaches toward the spiral. You hesitate. A second figure emerges, mirroring the first. Slowly, a third. Each figure moves with impossible synchronization. Your phone buzzes. Objective. Observe without being observed. Do not look into the figure's eyes. Do not interact. Do not falter. You exhale slowly. Focus. Step toward the glowing spiral. Each step feels heavier than the last, the air pressing down on your chest like the weight of 100 unseen eyes. The first hooded figure tilts its head toward you. You do not flinch. You do not acknowledge. You feel its gaze probing, measuring, testing. It shifts slightly, almost disappointed, and retreats a step. The second figure does the same. The third mirrors. The spiral in the center pulses brighter. A hum fills the basement, resonating in your bones. You feel yourself drawn into the rhythm. It is mesmerizing. It is dangerous. It is hypnotic. A whisper, now layered with multiple voices, echoes through the cavern. The observer must recognize without recognition, must witness without consent, must endure without faltering. You realize with a chill running down your spine that this is not merely observation. This is an endurance test, a lesson in stillness and control. A fourth figure emerges silently from the shadows, taller, broader. It carries a tablet etched with spirals similar to the packet's embossing. It places the tablet on the floor near the glowing spiral. Your pulse quickens. The tablet hums faintly, syncing with your heartbeat. It is a warning, a lure, a challenge. Your phone buzzes again. Do not touch. Do not respond. Do not look. You obey, step by deliberate step, your eyes fixed forward. Your heart hammers, but you do not falter. The figures around you watch silently, perfectly aligned, waiting for your compliance. And then, from the deepest shadow, a low, rolling chant begins. Not from the figures, but from the walls themselves. A harmony of echoes that reverberates in your chest. The basement pulses with life, like the house itself is singing, orchestrating your orientation. You inhale, steadying yourself. You have survived this far, but deep down, you know the night is far from over. You don't remember deciding to take the final step. Your foot simply moves, drawn by the hum of the spiral, pulled as if gravity has reorganized itself around this ritual space. When your shoe touches the center of the glowing symbol, the entire basement exhales. Not a gust of air, not a noise, but a feeling, a release, a recognition, a signal to something waiting in the dark. The observer has entered. The hooded figures around you lift their heads in unison. Not toward the ceiling, not toward each other, but toward you. Their movements are slow, deliberate, precise, like puppets animated by a single puppeteer. You force yourself not to react. The rules were clear. Observe without being observed. Recognize without reacting. Exist without responding. Easier said than done. The fourth figure, the taller one with the stone tablet, steps forward. Its hood shifts, as if its gaze slides up your body. Its hand rises, palm facing you. Lines burn across the tablet's surface, glowing gold for an instant before fading into black void. Then the figure speaks, not out loud, but inside your skull. A soundless, vibrating presence that pushes behind your eyes. The observer must endure. Your knees buckle. Your pulse stutters. The world tilts. You gasp without meaning to. The first mistake. The figures all turn sharply toward you. Not moving. Snapping. Their hoods pivot too fast to be natural. Too precise to be human. Your phone buzzes. Do not let them complete the triad. Hold still. The triad. Before you can wonder. 3 figures step toward you. 1 from the left. 1 from the right. 1 from directly behind. They stop inches from you, forming 3 points around your body. Each one humming with a low vibration that prickles across your skin like static. A ritual configuration. A trap. A measurement. Your breath trembles. You try to slow it. Calm it. But the air is thick, vibrating alive. Every inhale feels like inhaling another presence. The tall figure lifts the tablet again. This close, you finally see it clearly. The surface isn't carved. It's moving. Spirals unwind and fold, rearranging like living ink. One shape flashes at you. Your silhouette. Then, another you. And another. And another. Hundreds. Thousands. You stacked like frames of a film strip. Some look older. Some younger. Some not fully human. Some look back at you with too many eyes. You swallow, throat tight. Your body screams to run, but your mind holds you still. This is the test. Not the darkness. Not the figures. Not the whispers. It's you. Your reflection splintered across dimensions. Your identity measured like data. Your fear examined like a laboratory specimen. And then, the worst moment of the night. One of the U's on the tablet blinks. Not random. Not distorted. It blinks in sync with you. The tall figure tilts its head. The basement hum intensifies. Your phone buzzes frantically. The reciprocal observer has recognized you. Break the gaze. Now. You tear your eyes away from the tablet. Instantly. The basement walls shudder. The figures freeze. The triad around you collapses backward, as if shoved by an invisible force. The spiral beneath your feet flares. A blinding burst of white light. And a silence. Just like that. The humming stops. The figures retreat into the walls, dissolving like mist. The tablet falls to the ground and shatters into dust. Your lungs burn as you finally breathe freely again. Your legs tremble but hold steady. On your phone, one final message appears. Orientation complete. Return upstairs. You don't need to be told twice. You stumble up the stairs, each step faster than the last. When you reach the top, the basement door slams shut behind you. Locks click. Lights settle. The air warms. Your house breathes evenly again. Watching content. Like a host satisfied that its guest performed acceptably. On the kitchen counter, the steaming mug of strange tea is gone. In its place is a new document. Crisp, heavy, sealed with the same spiral sigil. Section 3. The dues you can't escape. You swallow. Of course, there's a Section 3. Your phone buzzes once more. Rest. The next part will require more of you. The chant grows louder, surrounding you like a living thing. The walls vibrate subtly, each pulse synchronized to your heartbeat. You can feel it through your feet, your legs, your chest. A subtle, insistent reminder that the basement, the house, and everything within it are alive and aware of your every motion. You take a step closer to the glowing spiral on the floor. Each movement is deliberate, measured, calculated. Your hands tighten around the spiral-embossed packet as if it's a lifeline. The spiral below pulses brighter with every step you take, a soft light brushing the edges of the figures around you. They remain motionless, perfectly synchronized, watching without eyes that you can recognize. The tablet placed on the floor hums in rhythm with your heartbeat. You do not touch it. You do not acknowledge it. You simply breathe, feeling the weight of the instruction press into your bones. Observe without being observed. One of the hooded figures steps forward, its movements slow and deliberate. It tilts its head toward you. A faint ripple moves through the others, but they do not break formation. Your pulse quickens, yet you do not flinch. Your eyes remain forward. A whisper, no, a chorus of whispers, slips into your mind. Soft, unintelligible at first, then forming words. The observer must not reciprocate. The observer must endure. The observer must witness. You swallow, holding your breath. Every instinct screams to run, to fight, to acknowledge the presence, but you obey. You step closer, inch by inch, until the glow from the spiral reflects on your face. It hums now, a resonance that seems to vibrate directly in your chest. Your phone buzzes again. You have reached the center of the orientation. Do not move. Do not respond. Do not falter. You freeze. You realize your body has gone rigid, becoming part of the rhythm, part of the house's pulse. You are no longer simply a resident. You are the observer, tested by shadows, whispers, and spirals. The hooded figures slowly step back, forming a perfect circle around the spiral. The chanting reaches its peak, a harmonic resonance that fills the basement with vibrating energy. You can feel it pulling at your mind, tempting you to look, to acknowledge, to break the rule. You do not. The light from the spiral swells and then suddenly dims, leaving the basement in semi-darkness. The figures remain, silent and waiting. You feel a gentle, almost approving weight lift from the air. The pulse slows. The house exhales. Your phone buzzes one last time. You have passed Section 2. Prepare for Section 3. You exhale, legs trembling, heart racing. You are uninjured, physically at least, but your mind reels from the experience. The basement returns to normal, silent, empty, as if nothing had happened. But you know the truth. Everything has changed. The house is watching. The shadows are waiting. The HOA is patient. And you are no longer just a resident. You are part of something far older, far stranger, far more deliberate than any mortgage or garden rule you ever agreed to. You clutch the spiral packet, trying to steady your breath. The basement door closes slowly behind you, leaving the space in quiet darkness. You know one thing for certain. Section 3 will demand more than observation. You stand at the foot of the basement stairs, the packet pressed against your chest like a shield. Your legs shake from exertion you didn't realize you endured. The house is quiet now, but the silence is heavy, like the calm before a storm that knows your name. You can feel it. Section 3 is waiting, and it will not be gentle. The spiral-embossed packet hums faintly in your hands, pulsing in rhythm with your own heartbeat. You flip it open carefully. The page is simple, yet the message carries weight heavier than steel. Section 3. Participation of the initiate. A chill brushes down your spine. Observation is no longer enough. You were merely the observer before, detached, careful, measured. Now they want something more. They want action. But action in this house, in this neighborhood, has rules you cannot yet comprehend. A soft, scratching sound comes from the stairs above. Your mind screams that it's the previous presence, returning. But the voice in your head, the one guiding you through the unknown, whispers, "Do not engage unless instructed." This is a test of composure. The basement feels impossibly deep now, more cavernous than before. Shadows shift along the walls in patterns that feel almost intelligent, responding to the faint hum of the spiral packet. You realize with a jolt that the house is not just alive, it is aware. Your phone buzzes. You reach for it, hands trembling. Section 3 begins. You must participate without understanding. The initiate moves forward. You take a hesitant step toward the bottom of the stairs. The darkness seems to contract around you, thickening with each movement. Your pulse hammers in your ears. Every instinct screams to flee, to abandon the packet, to leave. But you cannot. The rules are clear. Hesitation is failure. You glance back. The kitchen above is empty, quiet, and sterile, as if nothing has occurred. But you know better. The walls carry the memory of the shadows, the whispers, the chanting. Every surface seems to hum with anticipation. You step fully onto the basement floor. The spiral glows brighter underfoot, casting long, twisting shadows across the walls. And then a new sound. Soft, deliberate footsteps approaching from deeper in the basement. Not one set, multiple. They echo unnaturally, overlapping each other, a symphony of intent. A faint, low whisper slithers along the walls. Step into the circle. Do not falter. Do not acknowledge the reciprocal observers. The air grows heavier with every step. You feel pressure on your chest, like the house itself is weighing you, testing your ability to move without hesitation. Another message from your phone. The initiate must engage with presence without consent. Failure will be observed. Success will be required. You swallow hard, gripping the packet tightly. Your legs quiver, but you begin moving toward the center of the basement, toward the glowing spiral. Each step feels monumental. Every shadow around you seems to lean closer, curious, testing. The basement is alive. The observers are patient. And now, so are you, forced into participation, unwilling but inexorably moving forward. The spiral at the center of the basement hums louder as you approach, vibrating beneath your feet in sync with your heartbeat. It feels alive, almost sentient, a pulsing nexus of intention and power. Your shadow stretches unnaturally along the walls, dancing with those of unseen figures hidden in the corners, watching your every move. You pause just above the spiral, glancing at the packet. Its instructions are minimal, cryptic, and impossible to ignore. Step fully into the circle, witness without recognition, respond without consent. Your stomach twists. Step into the circle. You've survived observation, endured mimicry, resisted recognition. But this is different. This is engagement, action, participation. The word alone makes your skin crawl. The low hum grows into a deep, resonant vibration that reverberates through the floor, the walls, your bones. The basement seems to expand and contract with it, folding in around you, reshaping itself in subtle, impossible ways. From the shadows, a new figure emerges, hooded, tall, impossibly slender, with hands that end in long, tapering fingers. It moves toward the spiral with deliberate grace, its presence commanding yet unspoken. It does not speak. It does not gesture. It simply moves, and the basement bends to accommodate it. Your phone buzzes. Do not engage. Do not acknowledge. Do not falter. The initiate must be precise. A second figure appears, mirroring the first, and then a third. Each seems to glide effortlessly across the basement floor, silent, synchronized, a chorus of motion and intent. They form a ring around the spiral, an unbroken circle of observation and expectation. You realize with a surge of dread that the figures are waiting for you to make a move. Not a normal move, the move. The one action that defines whether you are ready for initiation or whether you are merely another observer, a failed candidate. The spiral pulses brighter, almost blindingly, and the air hums with tension. You can feel your own pulse pounding in your ears, every nerve taut, every muscle poised. A soft whisper rises, layered with multiple voices. Do not look into our eyes. Do not mirror our motions. Step into your role, initiate. You inhale, steadying yourself. You place one foot on the glowing spiral. The vibration travels up your leg, up your spine, filling you with an eerie awareness, a connection to everything around you. The hooded figures shift imperceptibly, watching your alignment, testing your compliance. Another whisper, now a chorus. The observer becomes the initiate only by surrendering recognition. The spiral marks your passage. Step fully and endure. Your second foot follows the first. The spiral pulses beneath you, warm, vibrating, alive. You feel the basement, the house, The unseen observers themselves, holding you in perfect balance between fear and control. Every instinct screams to flee. Every fiber of your body wants to break, but you do not. You step fully into the center of the circle. The basement exhales, and the figures close the circle around you. The circle tightens. The hooded figures surround you, standing motionless, yet every inch of their presence presses against your awareness like water against a dam. You can feel the rhythm of the spiral beneath your feet reverberating through your bones, syncing with your heartbeat, your pulse, your very breath. The basement is no longer just a room, it is a chamber, alive and watching. You do not flinch. You do not look at the figures' faces or attempt recognition. That would be a mistake. Your mind races, remembering every instruction, every whispered warning from the phone. Do not reciprocate. Do not acknowledge. Do not falter. One figure steps forward. It is taller than the others, moving with the slow inevitability of gravity. Its hand hovers above the spiral. You feel a pulse through the floor, like the beat of a drum, signaling the initiation is about to begin. A soft hum rises from the spiral, filling the space, vibrating through the walls and ceiling. The figures sway slightly, almost imperceptibly, their motions synchronized to the pulse. You realize that this is a test of endurance, of composure, your ability to act without acting, to be present without presence, to exist without recognition. The air thickens, heavy with anticipation. Your mouth goes dry. You clutch the spiral-embossed packet tightly. Another whisper curls around your mind. Respond without consent. Participate without action. Become the initiate. A sudden motion catches the corner of your vision. A hooded figure tilts its head, and the shadows stretch toward you. Your stomach drops. The pulse of the spiral accelerates, almost imperceptibly, yet enough that your nerves tingle. Your phone buzzes. The reciprocal observers test for hesitation. Do not hesitate. Do not acknowledge. You breathe slowly, forcing your mind to calm. Every instinct screams to move, to step back, to flee, but you stay. One foot, then the other, rooted fully in the glowing spiral. The tallest figure raises its hand. The others mirror it perfectly. You feel the vibrations through the floor, not threatening, not welcoming, just testing. A gentle pressure, like a suggestion rather than a command. A whisper threads through the basement, almost imperceptible but unmistakable. You are seen. You are observed. You endure. The spiral pulses brighter, and the figures take one step back, forming a perfect ring around you. The hum of the basement crescendos into a resonance that seems to penetrate your very consciousness. You realize that the initiation is not about survival. It's about composure, obedience, the ability to exist under scrutiny without acknowledgement. The pulse slows, the figures remain still, the basement exhales. Your phone buzzes once more. Step complete. Observe the next sequence. Section 3 continues. You exhale shakily, gripping the packet. You are exhausted, yet unbroken. The hooded figures remain, patient, waiting, observing, as if the initiation has only just begun. The basement feels impossibly still now, yet alive with latent anticipation. You stand at the center of the spiral, the figures forming a perfect ring around you. Every fiber of your being screams for movement, for escape. But you remember, this is not about fleeing. It is about endurance, about becoming the initiate without acknowledgement, without recognition. The spiral pulses faintly beneath your feet, like the heartbeat of the house itself. You can feel vibrations ripple up through your legs and spine, subtle but undeniable. They sync with your own pulse, creating a rhythm that is at once comforting and unnerving. From the shadows, the tallest hooded figure steps forward again. Its motion is deliberate, almost ceremonial. A tablet, identical to the one from Section 2, floats into its hands as if guided by unseen strings. It sets the tablet on the floor before you. Your phone buzzes. Do not touch, do not acknowledge, observe and endure. The initiate's task begins now. A low hum emerges from the spiral, deeper and more resonant than before. The other hooded figures shift slightly, their movements synchronized with the pulse of the basement. You can feel the vibration in your chest, in your head, in the very marrow of your bones. A whisper threads through the air, soft and indistinct, then gradually coalesces into words. Place your hands upon the tablet. Do not think, do not resist. Let the pulse guide you. Your hands tremble. The tablet seems to hum with its own energy, vibrating in sync with the spiral. You hesitate, every instinct screaming at you to step back, to flee, to ignore the instruction entirely. But the pulse beneath you grows stronger, compelling, urging you forward. You lower your hands, hovering just above the tablet. The hum intensifies, vibrating through your fingers before you even make contact. A ripple passes from the spiral beneath your feet, through the tablet, and into your body. You feel a strange awareness expand in your mind, like the basement itself is reaching inward, testing your composure. A chorus of whispers swirls around you. The initiate does not resist. The initiate does not hesitate. The initiate endures. You place your palms fully upon the tablet. The vibration sharpens, pulsating through you, yet there is no pain, only an overwhelming sensation of focus, of presence. The figures remain still, patient, watching, guiding, silently ensuring you do not falter. The spiral glows brighter, reflecting off the tablet. You feel a subtle shift in the basement, as if the room itself acknowledges your compliance. A sense of progress, fragile but undeniable, passes through you. Your phone buzzes one final time. Section 3, Phase 1 complete. Observe the next trial. Your endurance continues. You release your hands from the tablet, breathing shakily, every muscle in your body trembling. You are exhausted, yet something within you clicks. A recognition, subtle, almost imperceptible, that you have survived the first stage of true participation. The hooded figures remain, watching silently, a silent promise that the next phase will demand even more. The basement exhales again, slower this time, heavier. The figures surrounding the spiral remain motionless, patient, and yet every movement of their shadows against the walls hints at hidden calculation. You stand at the center, chest heaving, pulse hammering, hands trembling slightly from the resonance of the spiral and the tablet. The phone buzzes one last time. Section 3, Phase 2 begins. Engage without engagement. Endure without faltering. The air thickens, heavier than before. You feel the weight of expectation pressing on your shoulders. The hooded figures shift almost imperceptibly, and the shadows they cast stretch long and thin, twisting into shapes that brush against the edges of your vision. A new whisper slithers through the basement, weaving through the rhythm of the pulse. Step beyond the spiral. Move with intention without intention. The initiate is tested by presence alone. You take a breath. You step off the glowing spiral. The vibration dims slightly underfoot, but you feel the basement's awareness tracking your every movement. Every step is deliberate, measured, synchronized with the unseen rhythm of the room. You are aware of every detail, the tilt of the hooded figures' heads, the subtle flow of shadows across the walls, the faint hum of the spiral fading under the floorboards. Your phone buzzes again. Observe the figures, follow without mirroring. Your actions are watched. Your stillness is measured. You inch forward, each movement purposeful yet careful to avoid recognition. The figures remain silent, unblinking. Every step you take is a negotiation between fear and obedience, every breath a test of composure. You feel a strange sense of unity with the room, as if the basement itself is drawing you into its rhythm while maintaining its control. From the deepest shadows, a soft scraping begins, a subtle echo, almost imperceptible. It circles the basement slowly, deliberately, as if the room is reminding you that observation alone is not enough. You remain still. You endure, you focus. A chorus of whispers rises, layered, indistinct yet intimate. The initiate is present. The initiate is patient. The initiate persists. The spiral pulses faintly one last time, then dims completely. The figures take a synchronized step back, forming a perfect perimeter around the basement. The low hum fades, leaving only the heavy, almost reverent silence of the room. Your phone buzzes with a final message for Section 3. You have survived. Section 3 complete. Prepare to ascend. The HOA awaits your next obedience. You exhale shakily, knees trembling, but a small, stubborn sense of accomplishment rises within you. You have endured, participated without engagement, and survived the observer's test. The basement settles into a calm, almost expectant quiet. The spiral packet rests in your hands, its final embossing shimmering faintly in the dim light. You realize as you climb the basement stairs that the house, the shadows, the hooded figures, all of it has marked you. You are no longer merely a resident. You are the initiate, watched, observed, and subtly changed. And outside, the HOA is still patient, still waiting, knowing that the true trial is far from over. The staircase feels lighter now, though your legs are still stiff from endurance. The house seems calm, as if exhaling softly, its pulse slowing to a gentle rhythm that echoes in your chest. Shadows stretch in quiet corners, but they no longer feel menacing, only watchful, distant, patient. The air carries a faint warmth, the cold edge of fear softened into a lingering awareness. You move slowly, each step deliberate, mindful of the rhythm still lingering in your mind. The packets rest against your chest, a reminder of what has passed and what is yet to come. You breathe deeply, in and out, feeling your body gradually release tension, letting your heart rate descend toward a normal pace. The lights flicker softly, casting gentle patterns along the walls. The whisper of the house hums faintly in the background, like a lullaby only you can hear. You let your shoulders relax, letting go of the trembling you carried from the basement, knowing you have survived this night's trial. Outside, the wind rustles through the trees, soft and rhythmic. The fountain beyond the cul-de-sac shimmers faintly, its presence less threatening now, more like a distant memory. The world feels distant, quiet, protective, yet filled with a subtle magic that lingers behind your eyelids. You sink into a chair, hands resting on the spiral packet. Your pulse eases, your mind slows, each thought stretching out gently, like smoke rising and dissipating. The house, the shadows, the observers, they wait, but for now they leave you in a space of calm, of gentle awareness. Breathe slowly. Let the tension melt. Your body is safe. Your mind is alert, yet soft, drifting into the quiet lull of endurance and observation. The night stretches around you, protective and still, carrying the lessons of the initiation with it. And as your eyes grow heavy, you feel a faint, comforting weight in the air, a subtle whisper threading through the quiet. You are ready, and for now, you are safe.